If you would like your ICO reviewed, please contact us for our competitive packages. Now, we don't review every single ICO that comes our way, only the top tier platforms that have passed an extensive qualifying process, businesses that we're actually considering investing in ourselves. Having said that, with any investment, there's always a potential to lose, so you must only ever invest in what you can afford to lose. Our contact details are in the description below. And please remember, we're not a financial institution. What you hear expressed here is our opinion only. For Crypto Global News, I'm Edward. Now, the world of advertising is big, it's dense, and it's also profitable. Now, when we look at the world's largest social media platforms and search engines alike, a huge portion of their revenue actually comes from online advertising. But the issue is, the average consumer is now pushing back. More and more people the world over are not clicking on the ads that pop up on the websites they visit, and other people are using ad blockers so they see no advertising at all. Now, the loss in this marketplace represents billions of dollars. So one has to ask, where can all the lost revenue be made up? Well, imagine for a moment if there were a crypto platform that could mine cryptocurrency in the background on your computer when you visited a website. This would require little to no effort from you, the consumer, and the website you visited will also stand to gain from the mining process. And you could have your mining reward paid to you in the platform's tokens, Bitcoin, or perhaps even your local currency. Well, now, this particular ICO is a reality. Welcome to Gath3r. Now, before we jump into all the really cool details about Gath3r, let's first have a look at the actual advertising market. So the revenue generated from advertising represents a very important internet sector, with global giants like Google, Yahoo, Baidu all relying heavily on the income from advertising. Premium postings, banner spaces, pop-ups, and sidebar ads gain commission from sales or click-through rates that websites often depend on to stay in business. Given that advertising contributed to 90% of Google's total revenue, 79% of Yahoo's total revenue, and 99% of Baidu's total revenue in 2014 alone, it's obvious that advertising revenue will continue to grow as technology advances. Now, digital advertising accounted for 92% and 90% of Facebook and Twitter's total revenues, respectively. According to a 2014 report by PricewaterhouseCoopers, online advertising revenues grew by 15.1% year over year to $23.1 billion in the first half of 2014. Now, during the same period, mobile ad spending grew by 76%. Even with a huge pool of money, there are still drawbacks. The revenue from ad model can be intrusive to say the least, and can adversely affect user experience, which can result in higher bounce and dropout rates. Now, because of this, websites that become too dependent on advertising can actually be losing visitors and customers. As the number of people who use ad blockers continues to grow, the ad quality is dropping as copyright holders actively go after this revenue source. There are other usual forms of monetization merchandising, including publishing rights and referral commissions, but none of these suffice when it comes to making up for the declining advertising revenue. Then we move to the world of cryptocurrency. Now, from the outside, it looks to have its own set of problems. As usual, cryptocurrency mining requires too much computing power and expensive data processing centers which consume huge quantities of electricity. This model is also susceptible to a malicious threat called cryptojacking, which is defined as: cryptojacking is a form of cyber attack in which a hacker hijacks a target's processing power in order to mine cryptocurrency on the hacker's behalf. So, what's the next step so far as maintaining the revenue internet platforms are used to making, and how do we get around these issues facing cryptocurrency mining? Now, 2017 was the year that put cryptocurrencies on the global map, as the revenue of Bitcoin rose from around $900 to close to $20,000. Now, this is what made Bitcoin and cryptocurrency generally a household name. Now, when it comes to a good deal of cryptocurrencies, one of the key areas of opportunity for a great many people is to take advantage of the way in which they are created. Now, this process is called mining, which can be defined as: computers solve mathematical problems to verify transactions before they're added to a blockchain. As a result, new coins are generated and rewarded to the respective miner. A group of miners have since been deployed by sites to use visitors' vast computing power to create new coins in exchange for an ad-free browsing experience. Now, the technology in question essentially takes over the user's web browsers to mine cryptocurrency, which then makes money by using the website's visitors' computers. The two most popular cryptocurrency miners to date have been CoinHive and JSE Coin, adopted by the likes of Pirate Bay, UNICEF, and others. Other sites like Clean Water have also used cryptocurrency miners to raise funds for charitable causes like disaster relief. This has provided the opportunity for these sites to offer users an ad-free browsing experience with an opt-out option, and also rewarding the user if he or she chooses to let the miner run while providing a stable revenue source for the website. In-browser miners are now being seen by many as a potential supplement for alternative to digital ads. Many others have followed the methods of early adopters like Pirate Bay in supporting in-browser mining to reduce ads, which in a sense acts as an alternative to advertising. Rather than having pictures and videos spread about the page, users can offer the computing power of their PC or mobile and mine cryptocurrency for the website owner. Since the user is not required to register or click any specific link when visiting a site, they get to enjoy an ad-free experience. The website owner then has a new stream of revenue. Given the size of the total addressable market of live websites, which is about 2.5 trillion, there's a lot of potential for this mining technology today and in the years to come. If the users of the internet are willing to offer their computing power to replace adverts, and if the website owners could be trusted to limit the computing power requested, the technology could be added into websites safely and form a new stream of revenue for website owners. Still, despite the concept of a script-based miner gaining widespread support as a viable replacement for something like advertising revenue, in their current state, miners can only offer limited functions, and there's still a lot of issues surrounding security and privacy. So even though there's more work to be done, there's a huge opportunity in this marketplace. Now, even though the idea of browser mining is appealing to people who find adverts disruptive on the internet, it has received mixed feedback as a potential alternative to traditional ad banners. The concept is still in an early adoption stage, so there are only a few mining scripts, with the most popular ones being CoinHive and JSE Coin. As a first mover, CoinHive is currently the market leader and controlling the majority of websites and apps, which at the moment account for about 32,000. But the JavaScript-based Monero miner has also become hugely popular with malware developers. The other major player is JSE Coin, which has a huge drawback as it's limited by the lack of way to exchange JSE coins for other crypto or fiat currencies, as well as its lottery-based model, which makes payouts less predictable. Overall, current crypto miners are increasingly perceived as malware and quickly getting a less than illustrious reputation for several key reasons. One, there's no opt-in or option to opt out. Lack of transparency and violation of users' rights, malicious copies of legitimate miners, limited user control over script execution. The rise in these browser crypto miners and their associated problems are preventing the technology from evolving to a place that's more secure and for anyone to actually trust using it. On top of that, more malware scanners are on the alert and rolling out features capable of detecting and blocking unauthorized crypto mining scripts. At least two blockers have added support for blocking CoinHive's JS library, AdBlock Plus, and AdGuard. On top of that, developers have also put together Chrome extensions like Anti-Miner, NoCoin, and MinerBlock that scan a user's browser and can terminate anything that looks like a CoinHive's miner script. This means that the market needs a new and improved method for mining cryptocurrencies. To that end, CoinHive has already brought a new version of their code called Authmine, which is designed to seek a website's visitor consent before running the Monero mining scripts. Now, CoinHive has stated that approximately 35% of the Monero cryptocurrency mining activity that uses its platform comes from sites using Authmine. But according to a report published in February by security firm Malwarebytes, the Authmine code is barely used, quote unquote. Compared to the use of CoinHive's mining code that does not seek permissions from website visitors, with approximately 32,000 sites running the original CoinHive mining script, just under 1,200 sites are running Authmine. Since the actual malware, such as cryptojacking scripts, is viewed as less of a threat than Trojans or other viruses, people are less likely to install blocking scripts. This in part is due to the fact there is no real harmful damage to a system other than slowing it down. With antivirus software, ad blockers, and dedicated browser extensions now able to block browsers from loading JavaScript code from domains that have been associated with cryptojacking services, for this market to grow, there needs to be more evolution of this technology to the point where it cannot be abused by website owners who want to trick people into running these miners. Now, because cryptocurrency is essentially the internet of money, it's proving to be a better way to monetize the actual internet. An internet browser cryptocurrency miner could provide a more straightforward approach to content monetization. The integration of a script into a website that gets the CPUs of participating site visitors to mine any cryptocurrency. All proceeds can then split between the site's chosen crypto address and the script's creators, who receive a share. Now, if the level of the CPU usage is customizable and set to a reasonable level, it should not affect the user's devices and cause them to abandon a particular website. Keeping a transparent policy about using visitors' CPU power for the web mining should stop any potential backlash or malware accusations. In an ideal world, web mining should be an opt-in process. This way, a large number of new users who are introduced to cryptocurrency and incentivized to generate revenue for the websites after they choose to visit them. Advertising produces the majority of revenue in the search and social media portions of the internet industry. Google, Yahoo, and Baidu all rely a great deal on the revenue they generate from advertising. According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, the 10 largest U.S. companies in terms of digital ad revenues control 71% of the market, and the next 15 companies hold an additional 11% market share. For the online marketplace, operators Amazon, eBay, Alibaba, and Priceline advertising revenues contributed 7, 16, 1.6, and 5% respectively. The software that blocks online advertisements, which is typically referred to as an ad blocker, is rapidly becoming a standard among users. According to PageFair, a company that is studying and analyzing the trend, about 615 million devices are using ad blockers at the end of 2016. The total number of internet users in mid-2016 is estimated at about 3.4 billion, which means that about 20% of the users were using ad blockers, and that number is almost guaranteed to increase. Now, most ad blockers are free as well as they're very easy to install, so there's no real immediate downsides, and there are a number of upsides for those who choose to use them. Google is actually considering adding an extension into Chrome which blocks cryptocurrency miners on websites. Now, whilst no one can say that this is to help protect users from unwillingly offering their devices for crypto mining, it is just as important to keep in view that Google's AdSense software is used by over 14 million websites to provide adverts and generate revenue. The importance of advertising revenue cannot be overstated, and it will continue to grow as technology improves. Now that we've had a proper look at advertising, cryptocurrency, and the growing gaps in the marketplace which present a set of opportunities, let's take a look at the platform Gath3r itself and how it looks to change this very interesting economy. Now, Gath3r is a next-generation currency miner developed to solve websites' dependence on advertising revenue by offering an alternative form of monetization. As it is far more non-intrusive than other crypto platforms that perform a similar function, it should allow for a seamless integration without diminishing the user experience. One of the unique features that separates Gath3r apart from its competitors in this field is its rewards-based system, which incentivizes visitors to browse websites and profit from it. Now, this alone should vastly increase their target audience and prospective customer base. Once hosted on a web platform, the code allows website owners to earn commissions based on users passively mining their cryptocurrency with their excess GPU and CPU computing power. Each user must opt in to participate. Now, the website owner can choose to let their users browse for free, and then they can reward them for their success by electing to share a percentage of the payments with them through Gath3r's loyalty program. Now, a miner utilizing both the CPU and GPU web-based miner can switch proof-of-work algorithms based on block and price profitability along with available hash power per website and pay out in Gath3r tokens. Bitcoin, or local currency, as long as it's supported on the platform. The script can mine multiple algorithms and handle multiple websites and/or applications with their users. A mandatory opt-in will be built in to ensure transparency and user privacy protection. Webmasters will be able to choose to let users browse for free a portion of their websites, while visiting other sections will prompt a pop-in for opting in. Now, Gath3r, or any other cryptocurrency for that matter, can only be enabled with a complex code called a hash that makes it unprofitable for hackers to attempt to break the code. Now, once the Gath3r code is installed on a site, visitors can elect to use their excess GPU or CPU power while they're browsing to try and figure out the code, which is the process we know as mining. Now, employing the proof-of-stake model in combination with their own blockchain should cut down on operational costs and introduce staking to further increase the token's value. If the website submits the correct hash, the webmaster enables the block, which grows the ecosystem and enhances the value of the Gath3r token. The system then rewards the webmaster with a payout, which can be in tokens, Bitcoin, or where permitted, a particular fiat currency. There will also be a loyalty program where the rewards for mining aim to bolster user loyalty and incentivize more time spent on participating websites. The basis of the Gath3r platform is that it provides transparency, it inspires trust because the website users must opt in to participate in the program. Seeing as the platform is more transparent than its counterparts, it has the potential to provide a better user experience as websites will be less cluttered, and you can profit from each visit, and there's a likelihood that there will be an increase in customer loyalty for the sites that opt in, once again due to payment to the end users, which should improve their site traffic for these particular websites. Now, as GTH is purely a utility token, it is expected that the buyers during the crowd sale will be the end users of the actual Gath3r service. It is also important to note that even though the people at Gath3r do not encourage speculation, they will not restrict market forces, and the token will be fully and directly transferable. It will derive a big part of its value from the proof-of-stake model and the optional paywall program integration that should drive adoption. So far as the specifics around the token, this is how they break down. The symbol name is GTH, as we said before. The token type is ERC20. It goes up to 18 decimal places. There'll be 500 million tokens minted. The hard cap sale is at 12,000 Ethereum. Then, so far as distribution of the tokens, 40% will go towards the token sale, 40% will be set aside for network awards, and the remaining 20% will go to the team and its advisors.
And becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me. If you decide to drop your buckets where you are, and
then we move on to what's done with the actual funds collected in the ICO. Now, 43% will go to product technology development, 10% will go to legal costs, 10% will go to ongoing business development, and 12% will be set aside for administrative and operational costs. Then we have the last 25%, which will go to marketing and communication. With the actual roadmap, this is what's transpired, and this is what they've got planned over at Gath3r. So in Q1 of 2018, we have the beginning of the project. Then in Q2 of 2018, we actually have the proof of concept. Moving into the last third of the year, we have the private sale and MVP. Then wrapping up 2018, we have large-scale marketing and the main platform launch. Then pressing on into the following year, first off we have Q1 of 2019, where we have the Gath3r proof-of-stake blockchain. Then pressing into Q2 of 2019, we have Volume 2 of the main platform launch.
Yes. I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you.
On top of the funds raised during the actual crowd sale for the platform and the product development, Gath3r will rely on a commission-based model. Now, Gath3r's largest source of projected profit will come from the commission that's produced by hash rate and pool fees. They're expecting to make about 15% from transaction charges, pool fees, and their commission. There will be a slab-based commission as well. Websites with higher traffic will be charged a lower commission, which you can see represented in the image on your screen. Everyone Everyone who uses the internet has at some time or another been annoyed with ads that have at least cluttered their online experience. Now that being said, as we discussed at the top of the video, advertising creates so much revenue for the big players so far as search engines and social media platforms that if we want the advertising to go away, we'll at least have to change something to replace the lost funds. Now, not only can Gath3r play a huge role in this regard, but the average person can actually profit in the process. Now, according to one study, the average American spends just shy of 24 hours a week online. Now imagine if you could be earning an income for most, if not all the time you are on the web. This is a win for both the website visited and also the person visiting the site. So far as how quickly this will be adopted, well, that remains to be seen. The reality is, advertising companies are not going to be eager to see so much of their business disappear with the advent of this new platform. And not everyone and their grandmother will opt into the world of crypto mining. That being said, there's an old expression that people vote with their dollars, which is another way of saying that consumer choice is what drives a marketplace, as what we spend our money on is what stays popular or gains popularity. And seeing as people can choose between websites that have boatloads of ads on them or websites that are ad-free or close to it, and you can make money when you visit the site that is almost ad-free, I think there's a good chance that the consumer may flow in a new direction. Now, I'll be keeping a good eye on this new platform, as it's something that anyone who uses the internet stands to potentially gain from, and in turn, it may change the way we actually interact with the World Wide Web. For Crypto Global News, I'm Edward. Until next time, you take care.